Yo, have you ever watched a video about crafting samurai armor and thought, man, why so complicated? Who even hand forges stuff like that anymore? I have, and I'm talking about the process in From Metal to Masterpiece Crafting Samurai Armor from Japan. They specialize in making authentic samurai armor, all by hand, meticulous like they're raising a kid. Right from the start, they show off a Kabuto, you know, that badass helmet worn by baseball star Shohei Ohtani, which got me thinking, no way from scrap metal to a cultural icon, now in the hands of a modern sports star. Today, I'm breaking down that process, diving into its historical use in wars, comparing it to those clunky European armors, and wrapping up with how it's now a toy for cosplayers and collectors. I'm chilling at a cafe ready to chat with you with a bit of sarcasm because, let's be real, everything's got a dark side. Buckle up, it's long but worth it, I promise. First off, watching that video made me respect Japanese craftsmen. They don't use fancy industrial machines, but stick to traditional handcrafting, turning raw metal into a finished masterpiece. The process is like a living legacy, creating samurai armor with insane care. Each piece is handmade so detailed, I'd probably quit at step 1 from sheer laziness. They highlight Ohtani's Kabuto, that iconic helmet, making me think of its historical roots when samurais wore it into battle, not to pose on a baseball field. The video doesn't just show the process, it's a journey from iron to art, with steps like forging the Kabuto, crafting the dough chest, armor weaving chainmail, lacquering, braiding cords, stitching gold leafing, and finally displaying it. I'll break it down later, but overall, it shows Japan's crazy dedication to preserving culture in a digital age. They're still hand-stitching like it's the feudal era. Gotta admit, it's stunning so much, so I'd love to hang one on my wall, even if it's heavy as heck and costs a fortune. Why am I writing this? 'Cause you asked if samurai armor was used in ancient armies, and yeah, it was. But let's dig deeper. Japan's history is full of blood and glory, from the Heian to Edo periods where armor saved samurai lives and showed off their status. I'll pull from solid sources to analyze each era. 'Cause I'm not making this up, history's real though. Sometimes it's ironic how people fought for power and prestige. Then I'll compare it to European armor, those heavy plate suits that made knights look like walking ovens. Finally today, samurai armor lives on in movies, festivals, and even handbags, no longer for battle, but still super cool. Sit tight, I've split this into clear sections so you don't get lost. Let's start with the crafting process, the foundation of it all. When it comes to crafting samurai armor, I gotta say these Japanese artisans are next-level meticulous. Their workshop feels like a living museum churning out handmade armor with insane precision. Every piece from raw metal to finished product is crafted with such care. I'm like, who has this kind of patience nowadays? They flaunt Ohtani's Kabuto right at the start, proving their work isn't just a hobby, it's a legit cultural legacy worn by a baseball superstar. Let's dive into the steps based on the video with some commentary, cause it's fascinating yet kinda ironic. First up, crafting the Kabuto and do. The Kabuto, that iconic samurai helmet, is forged from metal, likely iron or steel, as historical Japanese armor often used tetsu iron. They hammer it by hand, shape it, rivet it, and I can just imagine the sweat pouring like they're back in ancient times. The chest armor protects the torso, made from linked iron plates. Digging deeper, this step is crucial for durability. If the forging's off, the armor could crack under arrows or swords. My take back then, samurais wore this to survive. Now Ohtani wears it to flex no risk, except maybe too many fan photos. Next, chainmail production, or kusari, a mesh of interlocked iron rings to cover gaps between plates, protecting against slashes. They weave it by hand, ring by ring, slow but sturdy. My thoughts. This step takes serious patience, like knitting, but way tougher one wrong ring and the whole thing's compromised. Then comes lacquering and Kabuto painting. They use urushi, traditional Japanese lacquer, coat the armor and bake it to harden and make it durable. Depending on the lacquer, it's glossy or matte, but it's all about rust-proofing and aesthetics. My analysis, the lacquer isn't just for looks, it protects against Japan's humid weather. Back then, samurais fought in the rain, and without lacquer, the armor would rust faster than you can say katana. My jab, baking armor like baking a cake genius, but who even thought of that? Next, cord making and insertion. They craft silk cords odoshi and thread them through holes to connect the plates. These cords are tough and come in vibrant colors to show off clan pride. My take, its art cords need to be strong to hold the armor together in battle, but also look good to flex status. Samurais cared about swagger too. Moving on to stitching with a needle and cutting leather or fabric. They use big needles stitching tight, and I bet their hands hurt. Then sewing machine work, attaching a decorative beard to the helmet and applying gold leaf for that luxury shine, usually for high-ranking samurais. Analysis gold isn't just bling. It resists corrosion, but let's be real, it probably came from some shady conquests back then. They finish with fitting the rim, attaching fittings to the storage box, super important for preservation, and adding the family crest. The video notes, the family crest is not just a symbol, but a legacy representing the history of the family. My take, this is the soul of the armor, like a family tattoo, helping identify warriors in chaotic battles. Finally, packing, displaying, and trying it on. They pack it carefully, display it like art, and test. Wear it 20-30 kilos, but majestic. Overall, the process screams Japanese spirit, meticulous, enduring. Compared to modern mass production, it's old school but authentic. No shortcuts, all handmade for quality. I'd guess one set takes months, crazy expensive, but worth it. Try it yourself and you'd probably lose it, but you'd learn patience. Now let's hit history, cause this armor was born for war, not just display. Now for the history, samurai armor wasn't just for show, it was a lifesaver in Japan's feudal armies. Based on my sources from the Nara to Meiji periods, armor evolved with warfare from bulky cavalry gear to lightweight infantry suits. I'll break it down by era with citations, cause history's gritty and it's ironic how people fought for power while dreaming of peace. Starting with the Nara and Heian periods 7110, 1185 early armor like tanko or keiko was simple, made of hardened leather and iron. Samurais were cavalry then wearing Yoroi, big heavy armor for protection, but slow. Used in small-scale wars, it blocked arrows and swords. My take. It was mostly peaceful then, so armor was like a warm coat, but when fights broke out, it saved lives. Ironic that samurais fought for court politics, not the people. By the Kamakura period, 1185 to 1333, armor evolved into Yoroi, complete with Kabuto and Mengu face mask used in the Genpei War, 1180-1185, and against Mongol invasions, 1274-1281. Analysis linked by Odoshi cords. It was more flexible, but still 30 kilojoules. Imagine carrying a rock-filled backpack. My jab, samurais looked epic, but thank the kamikaze winds for saving them, cause armor alone wasn't enough. In the Muromachi period 1336-1573, armor became Domaru and Haramaki lighter for Ashigaru foot soldiers. The Onin War, 1467-1477, was chaos, with daimyo armies mass using these. Chainmail and Urushi lacquer fought rust. My take war was a mess. Armor had to be light. To escape, samurais weren't exclusive anymore. Regular soldiers wore budget versions, dying for their lords. In the Sengoku period 1477 to 1603, the war-torn peak Tosei Gusoku armor emerged modernized to counter early firearms used in battles like Sekigahara, 1600. Analysis more versatile, from gilded iron to leather lighter for agility, but still tons died in endless wars. Bluntly, war was brutal. Armor helped, but when heads rolled, it didn't matter. In the Edo period 1603 to 1868, Tokugawa peace turned armor into ceremonial gear. Samurais wore it for parades, not combat. My take, shoguns ruled armor became a fancy suit, gorgeous, but useless in real fights. Ironic how samurais turned into bureaucrats who forgot how to swing a sword. By the Meiji period 1868, onward guns ended armor's reign. The Satsuma Rebellion 1877 was the last hurrah for samurais in armor crushed by modern firearms. Analysis armor worked against blades, but not bullets, spelling the end of the samurai era. Overall, across eras, samurai armor went from war tool to symbol saving lives, but soaked in blood. History's ironic, built to protect yet fueled slaughter. Now, comparing samurai armor to European armor, it's like night and day, shaped by terrain culture and fighting styles. Based on sources, samurai armor was light and agile. European armor heavy and protective. Neither's better outright, depends on the context. I'll break it down with some sarcasm, cause European knights looked like tin cans, while samurais were like iron ninjas. Structure and materials. Samurai armor was lamellar small iron plates linked by cords, leather, and lacquer, weighing 20 to 30 kilos. European plate armor from the Middle Ages to Renaissance was solid steel plates 40 to 60 kilos. My take, samurais wore what felt like a jacket breathable for Japan's humid climate. Knights were like ovens sweating in Europe's sun. Samurai pros light, easy to repair, but weaker against heavy blows. Knights great against piercing, but sluggish. Protection and mobility. Samurai armor excelled against slashes katana yari, thanks to chainmail and leather, but vulnerable to blunt weapons like maces. European plate armor handled stabs and smashes better with solid steel. Knights could tank a longsword or mace. My jab. If they fought, samurais would dance circles around knights, but one hit and samurai's done. Analysis. Japan's hilly terrain and infantry wars favored light armor. Europe's open plains and heavy cavalry needed thick plates. Why they differed. Culture. Samurais valued speed and bushido. Knights leaned on chivalry and full body protection. Timing. Both fell to guns, but Japan phased out earlier due to isolation. My take, who's better depends. I vibe with samurai coolness, but knights carried armor like life's baggage. Overall, the comparison shows both sides were brilliant, but ironically obsolete against modern tech. Today, samurai armor isn't for fighting. It's reborn in pop culture, from collectibles to fashion. Ironic how a bloody legacy became a commodity. Based on sources, workshops like Marutake make replicas for movies and festivals. My take, buying armor's like buying a designer tee, pricey, but epic for Halloween cosplay. In pop culture, armor pops up in anime Hollywood, even handbags using Odoshi techniques. Ohtani's Kabuto turned it into a sports accessory. My jab, once a lifesaver, now a movie prop. Not bad, but it's lost some soul. Practical uses, cosplay, LARP museums, even armor techniques inspire durable bags. Future, maybe 3D printed armor faster than handmade. My take, armor teaches patience, still alive today, even if it's just for flexing. From intricate crafting to bloody history, East-West comparisons, and modern vibes, samurai armor is Japan's soul. Try crafting it, you might become a modern samurai. Thanks for reading. Yeah, it was long, wasn't it?